What's going on, everybody? In this video, we are going to do something a little different. We're going to dive into Hollywood Animal in every building and which kind of avenue to go into as far as the best progress to research it. I have, I don't know, I got to be close to over 100 hours in this game. Just this one right here. I mean, we've been playing since I think it starts in 1920, so 20 years, however much time that is. But without further ado, we have the headquarters here. The headquarters starts off with your HR exec, your financial exec, your legal exec, and your PR exec, your public relations. Let's start with our HR. So what you're first and foremost going to want to do is get services done. Because once you get services done, then you can open up the services building, which allows you to gift people, and we'll get into that when we get over there, but it's definitely, this is the route to go. And then you're going to want to go to aesthetic staff, because the very first problem you're going to run into is happiness and loyalty. You know, money slowly comes. You're going to want to balance that, obviously, but your influence points will be low. You'll build that. Reputation will come over time. But your happiness and loyalty is what allows people to make better movies, work for you quicker, better, cheaper contracts. So you want your people to be happy. You want your people to be loyal. That is going to be your first go. From there, I did ethnic composition. Looking back on it, I think I would have went to enthusiastic newbies. I probably would have just opened this whole tree. I would have gone right down this side, not even worried about anything over there yet. So enthusiastic newbies, when you hire somebody, they'll get a spike of happiness. So you see right over here, employees boost their happiness and loyalty when they're hired. So I would definitely go that route. Professional achievement is good after a film's release. Everyone who participated will have a happiness boost. Same thing as here. This one's for, if you go this route and you're struggling with their loyalty, again, by this time, you're kind of pretty good into the game. And generally, you're not struggling with loyalty, not struggling with happiness. But if you still are, you definitely can go that route. But I would say, you're going to want to fill this corner before you even move over to here. And over here, ethnic composition allows you to change the ethnic composition of your staff, which a lot of people think it's like, oh, you can hire, people of different ethnic backgrounds for actors, directors. No. This is for right here, this screen right here. So this allows me to change to what I want. I have everything set at 20% because, again, if you look at these total amounts, and I just spent 30 million on cinemas. I was up to like $36 million. But you're gonna get to a point where this just doesn't matter. I could have all white in there, as it says, because it's the most expensive. It's not gonna matter to me. $50,000 a month is nothing right now. I'm paying 177,000. It's nothing to me right now. So that's why it's just not going to be that beneficial to run down that line early. What I would do if you do get there, I would go to illegals because you can hire them drastically less once you get here, and then cheap illegals. So that would be the next step. Mothball, again, you're gonna save money on building with mothball, but the what's it called, the repair or the the quality of that building is not going to be good. You're going to have to repair it soon anyways, and again, for me, buildings are no problem because I just have so much money. So by the time you clear this just doesn't matter that much. And honestly, there's going to be a thing that you can research, which allows departments to research influence or reputation, and that might be what I have my HR department do once he finishes over here. I don't even know if I'm going to worry about this branch. It's just doesn't have that value. So let's go over to public relations. This one gets a little interesting. First and foremost, double reputation for profitable films. You're going to struggle with reputation. You're going to struggle with influence in the beginning. So getting this out of the way first and foremost is very good. Then you go to reputation or loyalty. So if the studio's above an average 70, if we take a look at what mine is, 99. I have perfect loyalty, perfect happiness. I've been trying. I've been doing like rap parties. I've been doing like corporate events, trying to get that to 100. I don't know if it's possible. I don't know if it's possible. I don't know. I mean, unless I have somebody who's really low just holding me down, and I have to like get him all the way up from 0. I don't know why that's stuck there. But let's head back over to PR. So I would go into reputation, then reputation for loyalty. Now from here, I would go to charity. Because once again, you can donate to get reputation. The only reason I'm up here, I was under 2,000 at the start of this year. I basically swept the Pollux. I had 1 off of sweeping the Pollux, and I got 750 reputation for it, so that's why it's jumped up quite a bit. But producing films is the only good way of getting reputation unless you can donate to charity. Then this is the research I was talking about where I generate IP or reputation instead of researching improvements. So I would get this out of the way. I would literally do it in the order I did. So I would do double, I would do reputation for loyalty, charity, and then generate. Because by this point, my HR department, it's still not done, but by the time it's done, I can now have them generating IP or reputation rather than researching the mothballs or the illegals. So that's where this comes in. So it's a pretty good avenue to go. After that, you can either go into IP if you're consistently hitting top 3 in the year. I'm still not really. So I may come down to here, come over to, and this would just be to unlock this one right here, reputation boost for hiring actors. But this is the studio received twice as much reputation for working with an actor or director with icon status or entertainment. So that is definitely good. This just gives you double loyalty for that, which is good. But I think likely I'm going to go here next because I am producing these films. Or you want to go right down this row. This one, I mean, it's okay, but it only costs, I think, 20 influence to put up a initiative, so it's not really something I'm too worried about. So that's the route I would go. I would literally follow exactly what I did. I would go here to double reputation for films, then to reputation for loyalty, charity, and then research IP. This is an interesting one. So here, I have not used a lot of cash, but I think cash is going to be good to have. So I would go $1 million loan because that's what you have to do first and foremost. I've never used a loan either, though. That's the other thing. I would go 500 cash, and then I would go to 1,000 cash. I should not have done early repayment. Like I said, I've never used a loan. I've never needed it. I would have done 500 cash, then 1,000 cash per month. And I would have gone here and then branched this way. And honestly, once that research is done for training IP and influence and reputation, I'm probably going to have him train influence and reputation. Heading over to the legal department. That's kind of it. I would hit this little triangle or this little L. And then honestly, I'm going to have them train that. So there's not really much to get into on this one. If you are struggling with cash, maybe you feel a little safer, you can go to like a $2 million loan. These, I think, are useless. You're at 20%, 22%, 18%, or 14%. The interest is still going to be relatively minor. 20% of $2 million, you're at $400,000. Like, that's not going to break your bank. A 3-year loan or a 5-year loan, just how quick you have to repay it. Again, not really that big of a deal. So I would go down this middle row if you do need loans or if you are running into money problems. Now here, this is interesting because everything on here is good. So you're going to want obviously mid-legal level legal protection. From here, because there's 5-year contract, 10-year contract, I would probably sprint to 5-year contract. Then I would go to high level. I probably shouldn't have terminated because it doesn't cost you anything to keep people on who are kept on. Like, I don't know. It doesn't cost you anything to keep people on who are like you can negotiate with: actors, directors, producers, cinematographers, all those guys. You pay them up front. So firing them does nothing for you. You just let their time run out. You hold on to them. It's not like they're costing you any money. So there's really no reason to go into this unless you're trying to, slim people down, which is what I'm trying to do, which is why I went here. I should have went to legal protection because you do run into lawsuits periodically. And the longer the game goes on, the worse your legal protection does. You're going to need this higher end stuff eventually. From there, I would probably go mid-level. This is just the track I would do. Mid-level, delay contract, 5-year. High level, and then either 5 film or 10-year. Kind of up to you. But I think once you get 5-year, you're going to stop using film because you're kind of at the point where money's not a huge crutch. And I think I would do 10-year. Then I would go up to amazing legal protection. And then you can kind of track down this side. And even if you stick with films, it doesn't. Films are films. So whether you're 3 years, 5 years, films, it doesn't really matter. So you might as well go years. So you can try to jam them into as many films as possible. So that's kind of how I would go that. I would sprint to 5, go to high level, get 10, go to amazing. Wouldn't worry about this because the people who you are doing this for, you've already paid. So it's not like you're spending money to keep them there, or they are taking money monthly to stay there. So there's really no reason to fire them early. If you want them gone, you can certainly do this, but there's no downside to just literally having them sit there other than it clogs up your inventory. So those are our 4 main, I guess your headquarters or your staff, your 4 main staff. Next, we're going to go to the script department. This one's interesting. This one is interesting. So this is just XP. You're going to get XP for films. Probably not a priority to research faster XP. It's a good. I don't want you to think, obviously XP matters, but it does. Just probably not a priority. Probably not a priority there. First and foremost, you're going to want your buildings. So I would go story workshop, and then I would go freelance writer's office. Get your buildings. Then I would do develop new story elements. So you can have script writers searching for new story elements naturally over time. These 2, Script Doctor, I probably wouldn't do Script Doctor because all my people, I've yet to use Script Doctor effectively. All my script writers are good enough that they're maxing out the cap in my scripts. So there's no reason. A script doctor kind of takes, maybe you max out at a 7 and your script writer writes a 6.2. Your script doctor is going to work on that script to push it to a 7. Very niche. All this has to do with script doctor. Probably not worth it. Probably not worth it. Freelance I would do because you never know when you're in a pinch, or maybe like right now I have very minimal movies going, not a lot of money, not to where I'm normally at, around 30 to 40 million. So freelance, I do have freelance writers writing scripts for me right now to try to get more through. So that's a good building. Everything past this you can probably ignore, if I'm being honest. Rolling edits. This is when a error or a problem occurs in production. Rolling edits often gives you the opportunity to change the script for somebody's taste or somebody's problem, or something came up, allows you to change the script. Now, this, story ideas last for 6 months. I'm typically not doing ideas because they're typically are a 5.0 or a 6.0. I'm writing 9.0 scripts. So there's no reason for me to really push ideas. So I'm not too concerned with this pillar. Rolling edits is good. But after you get these two, after you get develop new story, maybe go to rolling edits. But honestly, I would shoot right up this line. Try to get at least 8 as quick as you can. 9's not too bad. This is about 3,000 days, so maybe you're a little slow on that one, but I would try to get to 10 as fast as you can. And then you can either choose the category that your script writers are finding stories elements on. Well, I would say you probably want to go to this one. So this guarantees every 6 months you're just getting new story elements. And honestly, I'm going to go bang, bang. So every 3 months, I'm getting new story elements so I can have all my script writers writing scripts, not researching elements. And it just kind of takes away their ability to get that. This here is interesting. I kind of want to see how this works before I give advice on it. I have not worked with sequels yet, so I want to get that going. I know I said I would go this route, but I'm interested in sequels, so that's actually going to be my next upgrade. But as far as an ideal, if you're trying to max min this, I would get these two right here. Whichever order, probably workshop first would be my guess. But whichever order, I would get developing new story. I would shoot up this line right here to get 10 as fast as you can. And then I would do the story elements so they periodically appear. And then if you do that, every 3 months you're getting an element. You don't really need to worry about this, unless you are still sending people to research, but 3 months goes by pretty quick in this game. Then I would come down to sequels, and then we can see what your worthy success or fresh take are. Because what I think sequels is it allows you to take all the elements and characters and everything from that movie, re-put them in so you don't have to re-look at anything. And then it might tell you which actors and actresses. So if you want to reuse those people, it'll just kind of pull them all in for you, which would be really great because even if I think of the elements, which I probably can't do, I got to remember who the actors were that were in it. So this would just kind of abbreviate that process. But this is after you do, up this line and you hit these two. Then you go to sequels. That's just what I would do. This is going to periodically come up with stuff every 3 months. So you get 4 new elements a year. It's good. You may still want 1 or 2 people researching elements just to kind of have them get that little bonus. Maybe you get 6 a year. You can kind of get that going. If you do this route, it kind of defeats the purpose of this. Selecting by category. Because there's just this was random. You can't select by category which element comes. So it only matters if you have people researching. But that's the route I would go. This is completely, honestly, it's useless to me. I've never used it. This is just XP. Again, I'm producing enough films, producing enough stuff. Obviously, XP's good, but I'm not struggling with XP. Writing faster is certainly good. Certainly good. So, getting up to here, after you've kind of cleared what you want to clear out of here, I'm going to go writing faster. That's definitely going to be the last section of this tree that I do. Last that I want to do. Obviously, like I said, I'm not doing any of these. Probably not going to touch any of these. Not going to do this pillar because I don't care about story ideas. Influence points per script is okay, but as you can see, I'm at the point where I'm not struggling with it. And it would take you thousands of days to get here. So it just kind of, by that point, your IP is kind of self-sufficient. So that's kind of the script department. And that's the route I would go there. Next, we have security. This one, again, I would get your 2 buildings right off the bat. I would get your defensive, your offensive. Then I would go to illegal tendencies and compromising. So I would get those 2. Whichever order you want to do. This allows you to, know if they like drugs or if they like to do illegal activities. And it allows you to gift that to people. And when you gift it, If they're not part of your company, after their contract ends, they join your company. If they are part of your company, it's 3x, whatever that benefit is. So if it's, 50 pounds that you would pay them for that, you'll get 150 benefit from it. So that's kind of what that is. This allows you to find things that they did that broke the law, or things that are frowned upon that they wouldn't want to get out, and it allows you to drastically reduce their wages. Drastically reduce that. So these two are very good. Then I would do agent training. Don't necessarily need accelerated, but I would definitely get agent training in there so you can slowly upgrade your security guards. Again, XP is going to do that kind of naturally, but I would get that going. Then I would do enhanced protection. So this is what allows you to put your security guards on actors, high-end directors, high-end producers, people like that, and it protects them from, other companies trying to tamper with them, basically. This is just, again, XP. We could do secret keepers, but it's not... I've never struggled with a secret. So I don't know if that's truly beneficial. I think you're going to hit those. And then I would do either accelerate it. I would come down these lines here. If you want to do beatings, kidnappings, murder, that's kind of a personal preference of how you want to play. I haven't had a need for this, but I am thinking about killing a cinematographer who's won 3 Pollux from me and have had terrible movies, even though he's won. I don't understand. So I may be taking him out. But again, depends how you want to play. If you want to, spill those in. But right off the rip, I would get your 2 buildings. I would get these 2 in whichever order you want. Go to agent training, go to enhanced protection, and then I would fill these trees up. And then from there, it's kind of up to you. For me, once I fill these trees up, I'm probably going to... Oh, what was this? 30% more experience for information. Search for information without risk of exposure. That's the one I want. Not the double XP. I was like, what is that? It's just this one. Search for information without risk of exposure. So I can do these without them getting caught. That's the big thing. But yeah, from there, it's kind of up to you whether you want to do this, or maybe you put security on the generate IP and reputation task once I have that done researching. So that is security. Let's go to pre-production. I do need to get repaired by the looks of it, but that's fine. I'll get that done eventually. Pre-production is all pretty good. I would say you want to get your buildings, as always. Honestly, tech support, good, but I don't know, tech support's hard. I would get your buildings. I wouldn't leave out tech support. You don't have to go above it. It's only 300 days, I believe. And then from there, you're going to go to your next set. So casting office, I'm going to go to 100 extras. Scouting office, I'm going to go to either high quality or international. Completely up to you. Both of them are needed to get additional stars. So then I'm going to go to high quality or high quality sets. Again, I'm just getting this next one all the way around. I would not have gone XP for directors and cinematographers in pre-production. It gives them XP in production, and when the movie releases, it gives them XP. This is talking pre-production only, and that they don't necessarily need. So I would not have done this. It was a waste. But I would get your next one in all of these. So high quality sets, high quality costumes, high quality locations, international, 100 extras. From there, it's the exact same thing. 500 extras, amazing qualities, amazing quality sets, and amazing locations. That's going to be your next line. From there, it's about working faster. Once you get the over 500 extras, get the amazing, you get this little triangle. This is working 20% faster. This is working 40% faster. This gets your props faster. all that stuff. Completely up to you, but like once you have this, you don't really notice it. It's kind of like the idea is to just crank out films so you're not really noticing each individual one. Obviously, it's going to help you get faster, so it's not a bad thing to have, but you really want to prioritize getting that better set, that better location, the more extras, and enhance your film more. So that's what you're going to do in pre-production. Then we're going to head to regular production. There you are. Click you. There we go. Same thing. Get your buildings to soundstage, line production office, production support. You can see how I left off double XP. So this is double. I don't know why they're really pushing the XP. Having you go up here, but that's just, it's not needed. Not needed there. I would get production service maybe a little bit earlier. So I would go soundstage 2, then to production service, and then where is soundstage? Oh, soundstage 1 comes with it. I'm getting soundstage 3. Okay. I would go soundstage 2, production support. So this allows that when you're on filming, you can raise the happiness of your people. It allows you to raise the happiness of your people that are on set. So that's really good, especially early game. You're going to struggle with happiness. You're going to struggle with loyalty. That's going to be a thing until you get it figured out. So that's just going to happen. I wouldn't go down the line. I think going this way and this way is a little more important. So I would get Auxiliary Film Crew 2 allows you to film faster. And then coming down here, these are more of like if things go wrong, that kind of pops up. So I wouldn't worry about that too much, because after a certain point, things stop going wrong because the game's kind of like past that. I don't want to say introductory phase because things go wrong for a while, but they're kind of past that like storyline almost. So once you get to Auxiliary Crew, that just kind of speeds up filming. There's really no reason to push it. So I would go then to level 3 soundstage, then high service, then 4 soundstage. Or you can just run right down the sound stages. Because again, at this point, you see my happiness, not really a problem. So I am doing fine in happiness. So this would just increase the quality of your film. Completely up to you, but I would go, personally, if I had to do this over, I would go soundstage 2, production support, line production office, auxiliary film crew, level 3 soundstage like I did, and then I would go 4 because my happiness isn't a factor right now. So that is what we're doing in production. Where are we in post-production? There we go. Post-production, off the rip, get your 3 buildings. This allows you to do these activities on your set, and then you're just going to keep expanding. Professional post-production facilities. Directors, editors, coders receive twice as much experience. Again, not really needed. Not really needed. I would go down the line. I would do it like a circle. So we're going to get our buildings, then we're going to get medium, then we're going to get amazing. That's just, you're going to go right around the circle of this. Pretty straightforward. Wouldn't worry about the XP. Again, it hasn't really affected anything for me. Then you're going to distribution. This is what happens after post-production. This one is interesting. Apparently, I've never built the printing office where you can print duplicates of your films in 5 weeks. Not really something I was trying to do. So I can post my film. This would allow me to print my duplicate film. So I can just release it, I guess. I don't know. I didn't really understand it, so I actually haven't done it much. This one over here, I would do analytics and statistics. But first and foremost, you're going to want marketing and outreach. First and foremost, you're going to want marketing. Then I would do analytics. Then I would do theater management. This allows you to buy theaters for your own personal screenings. From there, these are all 50 days. That's why I ripped through them. And they're tricks. So they allow for a boost in marketing. I just ripped through them all because they're only 50 days a piece. So a month and a half, almost 2 months a piece. You know, a year and a half, you get through all these. Then I would come back and do cinemas for rent. And then I would do post-release analytics like I'm doing here. Audience analytics kind of narrows in a little more. This tells you what you could have, who this film reached, like what you could have actually done this film for, which gives you an idea. Action, gonna be men. Romance, gonna be women. Horror, it's gonna be young women. Things like that. So that's gonna give you, your post analytics. After you do post analytics, I would do audience analytics, and then I would do cinema optimization. So increase the number of screenings from 5 to 6. It's going to drastically improve your screenings without using as many theaters to do it. So it allows you to kind of, what the idea is there, release more movies at the same time. That's kind of the route I would go. Competitor stuff, not really a big concern. Like, I don't care what they spend. I don't care who's acting for them in that particular movie. I don't care about their elements. Like, I just don't, it doesn't affect me. It doesn't really affect me. Hush money is just another trick. Hush scandal is just basically it's a scandal that could happen, but I need to spend influence points. Again, not a huge deal to me. I'd rather know my audience and know who's going to like my movie more. So I'm going to go here. You can kind of see what I already did. First and foremost, you're going to get the marketing outreach. First and foremost. Then you're going to go to analytics. Then you're going to go, I would do theater management first, then rip through this. Then go theaters for rent, and then you're going to do what I did. You're going to go post-release, audience analytics, and then it's kind of up to you from there. If you do want to, see what your competitors are, that's fine. If you want to hold on to your film so you can release them later, that's fine. Hush money is just another trick. So not really, hush money is if there's a scandal you can pay. And I haven't really there are scandals periodically, but typically it's 30 reputation and the scandal goes away. So it's not something I'm worried about. So that gets you through filming. That is your security, script, to pre-production, to production, to post-production, to distribution, plus your headquarters. Now we're going to get into the producer's office. So let's go ahead. First and foremost, 2 projects per producer. Your producers stick with that film until it's released. So if you have 5 movies lined up to release, you'll have 5 producers stuck, and you'll have to keep hiring and keep hiring and keep hiring as you produce more movies. This allows you to put 2 projects per producer. It allows one person to work on 2 films, which is very good. This is good, as you're hiring negotiations. I would say you're going to do this before 2 producers per project. That way you're able to, kind of get higher quality people for a little cheaper. I did 2 producers first. I probably would go back and do this one first. Then you do 2 producers, then 3 producers. I wouldn't worry about this. So this allows you to cover 50% of the negotiation in gifts, services, requests. The deals that I'm doing, I'm not even getting 5% of the request. Like, the deals I'm doing are millions of dollars at this point, and your medical insurance is like 85, your illegal substances are like 50. So like, you're just not, I should not have done this. I should have went to 3. But yeah, that's what I would do. I would come down here, I would go straight, and then honestly, I'd ignore this. unless it starts to run into a problem. But I would go straight down, straight across, and then these two. That is your producers. If we come over here to services, this is another interesting one. I would do special events right off the rip. I would do special events, and then I would go to corporate parties. Why corporate parties before banquet? If I was to throw a corporate party, 15 loyalty to everybody, 100% happiness. It gives 100 happiness to everybody who attends, and it gives 15 loyalty. That is just insane. They're going to give you a quest very early on for illegal gifts. You need to have your head of services to be over 70% of loyalty, and then you can ask him to partake in illegal gifts. But first and foremost, special events, corporate parties, then banquet. Then you're going to go down this line, at least to the whiskey and cigars. If you can get into here and you can get heroin, it'll allow you to get, I believe it's Billy Nash or Bobby Nash or somebody like that. And you can get him to come to your studio early on. He does end up being a 10 actor. I think at that point he's like a 9-1. He's a very good actor early on. But if you can get that and you already have him at 70, it's worth trying to grab Billy early. If you can't, I actually couldn't. I would just special events, banquet, corporate. Get those two. Then go into here. Get to this point. And then up to you. These are all services. So, do you want to give them coats? Do you want to move into more illegal stuff? At this point, it's all kind of preference. You don't need to extend past here. They do give you more. And the reason banquet's good is it gives you influence points. So it gives you 350 influence points every 32 days. That's how long a banquet lasts. And you should just constantly be ripping that. Constantly be doing banquets once your happiness and loyalty are pretty good. This gives 500. It costs 1.5 times more. And it costs reputation. So there's no reason to go this next route. And then this is even more. This costs 500,000. This costs 750. This costs $1 million. This gives 350, 500, 750, but it costs reputation for these two. There's just no reason because this is so quick and so much. I haven't ran into an influence problem, so there's no reason to go big. So you would come down here, get these first two. If you can get illegal, I would try to get Billy, but not a requirement. And then at that point, after you've gotten these three, because this will help with your happiness early on, you can quickly get these. They're very cheap. Then it's up to you. Do you want cars? Do you want extended medical coverage? Do you want coats? Do you want to move into more illegal stuff? Like, it's completely up to whatever route you want to go. They're all relatively the same. There's nothing that's like overly better than another. So there's really nothing that's like overly insane. Maybe go this route because it's shorter. It gets you to the car quicker. That is a very good gift, obviously. But these tend to help negotiations more. So like this is 85. These are 40. This is 100. One here is 85. If I go to car driver, it's like 125. Luxury car and chauffeur is like 500. Like that kind of stuff in negotiations. This doesn't get quite that high. These are more for happiness. Completely up to you. These are illegal. So they're for niche characters, but they mean more to those characters than anything else. So depends on where you want to go in that route. All right, so we went through all that. And then I believe we just have engineering and maintenance. So I would do research group 2. Right off the rip, I should not have done technological innovation. Research group 2 is by far better. This allows you to have 2 research groups. So you can research either one item twice as fast, or you can research 2 different items. And then you have research 3, 4, 5. You get the idea. I would go down that line. Inventing your own technology isn't that great. isn't that great. I would go right down the line of research groups, get everything maxed out, and then come over here. And by the time you have 5 research groups, this will be very quick. You can just make max tech very fast. Right now, if I try to make max tech, it's like 8,000 days. It doesn't make sense to. So pretty easy in engineering. You're going to go left, then right. And I would go here and then up here. These are just speed. Good, but once you have this 5, it doesn't really matter. You might as well get the additional, you can add it as things are going. Then you can speed it up a little bit. And maintenance. You'll see why I left this one for last. Very easy. You're going to go medium landscaping right off the bat. You're going to go medium landscaping. Then I would go repair crew, power plant, water tower. So medium landscaping raises everybody's happiness and loyalty. Repair crew repairs buildings. They slowly diminish over time, so you need to keep them repaired. Power plant lowers your electricity because you'll be making power right on site. And then water tower lowers your water because you'll be making water right on site, or store water on site. So this is more beneficial cost per capita than water tower. So that's why I say do that one first. Really, it doesn't matter. But medium landscaping is by far and away the most important thing in maintenance. And then obviously you need to repair your buildings or they'll get destroyed and you have to rebuild them. But that is all the buildings in Hollywood Animal. That is the route I would go. That's how I would do them. And let me know in the comments if you have any other questions, any ideas, any tips that maybe didn't have to do with the buildings, like how do you do films, what's the best thing. I'm going to come up with a beginner's guide as well that's going to come out, so hopefully that helps you as well. But that is all I got for you for the buildings, and until next time, see ya.